So let's jump into the business case. At Top Computers, they're requiring that all their managers must be able to approve the purchase orders that are created in SAP. They already have a portal, and we need to now edit that portal to assist with this requirement. We want the managers to be able to log on to Portsyn, approve or decline the purchase order, give their reasons, and sign it. We're going to start now by showing you the 3 different ways that we can view information in Portsyn. Number 1, we're going to start with the dashboard, where I just want to see a list of all the pending approvals by manager. Then I'll show you the second view, which is a query. Over here, we're going to show the my list of open approvals so that I can open those approvals and approve them. And then lastly, I'm going to just show you a crystal report and how we're going to plug that in so that they can actually view the details of the purchase order. Let's jump into ERP. And everything starts at queries, ERP service that's used for the initial installation. So we're going to jump right to the top, which is queries, and we're going to go create a new query. Under queries, we're going to call this dashboard open approvals by manager. We're going to link it to the type of dashboard data retrieval because it's going to be a dashboard. And you can see we start giving you some information around how it should be captured. And we're going to link this to, let's say, employee 2, because we want it to be for managers. Then we're going to come down. I'm going to blank this out, paste my query in. Let's just say execute. Okay, great. I've got those values. And you can see we need to have these certain values for this. And then I'm going to save it. Once I've created my query, I can go into dashboard, I can go into edit mode, and I've already got dashboards here. So I'm going to actually go create a new page, and let's call it approvals, save it, go to my new tab, and I'm going to add a widget. You can see we have quite a list of different options to pick for, but let's go with the most straightforward vertical chart. I'm going to put it, you can drag it, resize it if you want, but I'm going to leave it full size there. I'm just going to say save. And then I'm going to go and link it to my query, open approvals by manager, save. And there we can see I have my first dashboard done. Okay, now we're going to jump into point 2, which is creating a query in SAP. In this example, we're going to show a list of my open approvals for the logged in manager. So step 1, we're going to go into queries. We're going to go create a new query. We're going to give it a name. In this case, we're going to call it pending purchase orders. We're going to go to data retrieval. I'm going to use employee 2 again, right? Because this is really for the managers. Let me get rid of this example and paste mine in. Let's execute it. So here we can see we have the 4 purchase orders, which Andrew Bones had on the dashboard from earlier. I think the one thing I want to point out is here I'm using my session variable of user ID. So I know which employee is logged on. If it was a business partner, we would use BP code. Okay, so that's done. Let's go and save that. Now, the next step is to go into your menu items, and we're going to go create a new menu item. Once again, I'm going to call it the same thing, pending purchase orders, link it to the same role. This is where you can pick your different icons. I'm going to start typing hand. Let's select that. You can change the colors and the sizes if you want, but I'm going to leave it default, and I'm going to link it to the type of query. And here I'm going to select my query, my data retrieval query. And you can decide to put it as a sub menu of something else if you want to work with sub menus. But in this case, I'm going to just leave it in the root of the menu. So save, refresh, and you can see immediately it's appeared at the bottom. But let's go drag it between dashboard and home. If I refresh now, see it's moved up, and there you can see my query. But there's a few things I want to do. I want to fix this date column, and I want to remove these last 3 columns here. So we're going to go into configure, generate the data to bring it into here, and I'm going to go into date and just say, listen, that is a date field, and these bottom 3 fields I'm going to quickly hide because I don't want to show that. So let's hide, close and reopen, and there is your very first query. You can obviously filter based on this. So if I just type CTI, you can filter. Let's clear that. Obviously dates would be different. Dates within, before. You can export it. You can change some preferences on it. If you want it to be smaller or larger. You can even go back to editing the query, obviously, if you logged on as an administrator. Now we're going to jump into the final point on viewing information in Portsyn, and that is on crystal reports. So let's jump into the statement. I've got a statement example here, which I want to use for my employee portal, and I want to allow them the ability to log into Portsyn and pull a statement for a specific customer, and then PDF save it and email it. So what you can see here is my crystal report. I've got two parameters here, my customer and my date. And within your parameter, try to make sure that your prompting text is correctly set up here. So you can see I've got select date 2. And then finally save it somewhere on the server that's storing the Portsyn service. Okay, so once you've done that, then we can jump into Portsyn. So we're going to start, before I even get to the crystal report side, I'm going to go create one more query so that I can have a drop down of the customers I want to select for my report for the employees. So I'm going to call it customer selection. I'm going to make it of type lookup. I'm not going to really worry about permissions here because I'll do that in the menu section. So let's get rid of that. We're going to paste this in, execute. And there you can see I have all my customers who are a customer and who are not inactive. Okay, happy with that. So let's save it. Then we can jump into reports and I can go and create a new report. I'm going to call my new report customer statement. I'm going to point it to the path where it's stored, and then I can load the parameters. And now you can see my customer. I'm going to say, all right, I can either do text, number, date, or lookup, or one of the variables. So the logged in customer, the logged in employee, or the current date. So let's go and put it to lookup. And if I select that, I'm now going to say customer selection, the query I just created. And for the date 2, I'm going to use date now. So at least it pre-populates the date for the guy once he creates it. So that's setting up the report. And then I'm going to jump into my menu items and I'm going to attach it to my menu. So customer statement. I'm going to set the permission for the employee. I'm going to look for a calendar. Yeah, that one looks good. I'm going to point it to the type report, the report I just created, and I'm going to save it under my main menu under the section reports. So let's save it. And now you can see under reports, I have my customer statement. And there you can see this one I've done poorly for my parameters, but I'm going to say it's for online customer and I've defaulted today's date, but let's backdate it to the end. And then I can say execute report. And there you can see there's my report, which can then print, download, email as I need. Finally, you can also do this within your grid. So you can see on that document 959, I have a little eye, and that's also pointing to a crystal report for my quotation. And that's done through this configuration over here, where you can go and create a type. I'll go and show you of view. I pick the icon, it's an action button, pointed to a crystal report. That one pointed to document. I insert my parameters and then the column that you want to show. So for example, if you didn't want to show the ability to print closed quotes, then you could have a case statement basically saying if it's closed, then don't show. If it isn't, then show, and then the eye will only appear on certain lines. And that ends the crystal reports viewing.